Hey guys, Mr. Ridgway here, and we are going to be starting on our first little segment of geography for this class. Because this is a geography and history of the world kind of combo course, it is finally time that we are going to actually be addressing the geography side of things. So what does this mean? Let's talk about it. First of all, okay, let's just kind of discuss our overall objectives for this lesson. Identify the major states of Southwest Asia / the Middle East, and then learn how to make meaningful connections in new learning. All that being said, let's actually break down what that's going to mean for you. We have to do some stuff with maps and you knowing where things are. Now, why are we doing maps and identification stuff? Again, I'm not a huge fan of things that you can do in this class that are simply Googleable. It's not really my style, because that's why we have Google. Right? But at the same time, you got to know where Kansas is, okay, to be a competent human being. As you can see, based off this map here of the United States, which is a real one that I found that somebody attempted to fill out, which is pretty funny, we got to know where things are, okay, at least on a basic level. So we're not only going to take this opportunity, yes, cover some basic things we need to know, but I thought we could also use this chance to discuss some ways that your mind actually achieves meaningful learning. Okay, so how can we actually process and learn information meaningfully? Let's get into it. Okay, now the basicness of how your brain works, if that can be a word, is that it functions off of establishing connections to new learning, right? So if, for example, I learn something brand new, my mind immediately is going to try to connect it to something that I have already known. Okay, we call this constructivist learning if you really want to know. Besides that, though, okay, what actually determines in the future whether or not I'm going to remember that information is based off of two things. Number one, how strong that connection is. Okay, and then number two, how I have trained my brain in terms of think about intellectual weightlifting, about going in and retrieving that information. How have I practiced doing that? So what I would tell you to think about is this is kind of like your brain is like a gigantic file cabinet. And what your brain's going to do is when it gets new information, it's either going to put that information in a folder that it already has, okay, or it's going to have to make a new folder. And if it has to make a new folder, well, it's a little bit harder to remember. And then the second thing that we're going to, again, try to accomplish is then the actual going in, grabbing that file folder and pulling it out. So that's kind of what we're going to be trying to aim here to do. Okay, trying to do meaningful, purposeful learning, even though it's maps. Okay, so with maps, okay, yes, we're going to be focusing on Southwest Asia / the Middle East, since that's been our focus for the last few lessons, which is nice. So we kind of get to do geography now about this area that we've been studying. You get to pick between two different strategies that are going to help you with your connections and retrieval practices. You only have to do one of them. You don't have to do both, but of course, doing both would of course help. I highly recommend you check both of them out before settling on one of them to do. Now, I'm going to go ahead here in a second and describe what these are. Just be aware that you will be turning in some evidence to me on Schoology that you've actually tried one of these things. Okay, so let's talk about what they are. Number one, okay, option number one is a PPP, a PowerPoint puzzle. Okay, it's an interactive PowerPoint jigsaw puzzle. You can click right there to get the template. Okay, and what you turn into evidence for me that you tried it is a screenshot of one complete puzzle, and that's going to be on the template, slides number 6 or 7, depending on what puzzle you attempt to try. Okay, again, there's a reminder on how to take a screenshot, the Windows key plus Shift plus S. Okay, do all those, then you just kind of snip a screenshot for me. All right, so there you go. That is option number one. And again, notice trying to be meaningful here, just a reminder about why this actually works, because you're dragging the puzzle pieces. You can say them out loud. The puzzles do get progressively harder as you go. So again, something just to experiment and try out. Option number 2 is a really cool app that another teacher introduced to me called Memrise. And it is one of the most interesting and powerful apps that I've seen that really tries to actually help you practice retrieval practices. So the link to the app is right there. Okay. It's also available for your phone, so you can practice this really anytime. And all you're going to do is you're just going to click the link right there, okay, to go to it. If you are confused about how to sign up, there's a tutorial there. My recommendation to you is when you go and you sign up, you can use just probably like a non-Avon School email address, something easy that you can remember. And then what you turn into me on Schoology is evidence that you have committed to your long-term memory 10 out of 25 words. And so you can see down here, I took a screenshot that I've learned 5 of 25. I want you to do 10 of 25. Okay, and that's it. Those are your two different options. You submit that screenshot into Schoology for me with either option 1 or option 2, and you turned everything in. All right, so hopefully this is kind of showing you that you can even do meaningful learning with something as rote as a map, and I look forward to you sending me your screenshots. See you later. Bye-bye.